Okay, quick question, conversation time. Carriers have an incredible amount of influence over what apps and services we can use on our phones. They make their own apps, they partner with specific companies, and they can chill the progress on competing services. But when it comes to messaging apps, is this an area where regulators should get involved? No matter how you chat with your friends and family, you definitely don't want to miss all the coverage produced here on reviews.org. So make sure you hit all of those subscribe options down below, and maybe the next time you fire up a group chat, give one of our videos a share. Before we cover the main topic from the title of this video, I would like to take you back to the far-flung year of 2011. Ah yes, Angry Birds was the hot mobile game. Planking was a thing. Harry Potter's final film chapter led the box office when going to movie theaters was a thing. And Google tried to make some traction on mobile payments. Google Wallet launched in 2011. However, mobile carriers AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon had been working on ISIS. Not that ISIS. ISIS, the mobile payment service using NFC. That started in late 2010. Carriers had started before Google, but it seemed like Google was going to build momentum faster, especially on Android devices. There was much gnashing of teeth and years of fighting over security protocols, whether Google would be allowed access to subscribers on these networks. Then Apple launched Apple Pay in 2013, and because of the turmoil between Google and carriers, Apple basically had an open road to make their payment app the gold standard of mobile payments in North America. ISIS changed its name to SoftCard. That was probably a wise move. But regardless, in 2015, the carriers gave up fighting and sold off most of SoftCard's assets to Google. Mind you, SoftCard subscribers were not automatically enrolled in Google Payments. And in May of 2015, Google bounced Google Wallet and ushered in Android Pay. Apple had roughly 2 years with no real competition. For all of the carrier involvement in mobile payments, we eventually arrived at a Google-owned solution anyway. Only one that had largely poisoned the well for consumers along all of those years of squabbling. I'm grossly oversimplifying some really complicated history. A little of this cheekiness is kinda deserved though. Most recently, we've seen this dance play out again with messaging. One of the claimed strengths of iOS is iMessage. Google has been working to close that gap, and after a number of not so great solutions, we landed on one platform which would have well supported a broad number of consumers around the globe. Originally detailed in 2008, RCS steadily evolved over years, and a universal profile was published by the GSMA in 2016. RCS stands for Rich Communication Services, and Google was keen on using this as the framework for next generation messaging. Instead of building a proprietary messaging service that would lock consumers into one app on one platform, this would be like the next version of SMS, more broadly available. In 2018, Google shut down the Allo messaging project to focus on RCS, and the carriers were thrilled to see Google develop services for their networks. I'm totally joking. In 2019, all 4 major United States carriers announced an agreement to make their own cross-carrier messaging solution. And I wonder how that played out. Again, almost 2 years of conflict, slowing the development of RCS, and now in 2021, all the major carriers have announced that they're instead going to use Google Messages as the main service for texting and RCS. We could have gotten here a lot sooner. And along the way, Apple basically had open runway to keep using their messaging service, which is still one of the strongest arguments made for how Apple's ecosystem is better than Google's. We see how carriers and ISPs can contribute to the process of developing new services. And this conversation gets complicated when carriers give preferential treatment to some services over others, like when some video streaming apps don't count against your mobile data. But as it relates to carrier-specific apps, should we consider this a net neutrality issue? If a carrier controls the pipe you use to get to the internet, should they also be able to build services that compete directly against other services companies? Does this become a conflict of interest? And that's what I want to talk about underneath this video. What say you? Drop us some of them tasty comments down below. I'm really looking for the hot takes. On a personal note, I'm really happy to see messaging features start firing up on my family and friends' phones for all the people that are using Android and finally starting to catch up to 21st century communication. It's silly because we're talking about like better support for GIFs and emojis and reactions, but this stuff can be fun, but not when it's artificially slowed down because of mega corporation shenanigans. Regardless of my personal experiences, I really want to hear what y'all have to say. So, as always, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, subscribing to this channel. Keep an eye on the reviews.org website and this YouTube channel for some fun upcoming live streams, and I know we've got some giveaways planned. You're not going to want to miss that. For reviews.org, I'm Juan Carlos Bagnell, and I'll catch you all on the next video.